Moses and for Israel's people, how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took Moses' wife, Zipporah, after he had sent her away, and her 2 sons, of whom one was named Gershom, for Moses said, I have been a sojourner in a foreign land. The other was named Eleazar, for he said, the God of my father was my help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with the sons and his wife to Moses in the wilderness, where he was camped at the Mount of God. He sent word to Moses, I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her 2 sons with her. Then Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, and he bowed down and kissed him. And they asked each other of their welfare and went into the tent. Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and to the Egyptians, that had befallen them on the journey, and how the Lord had delivered them. Jethro rejoiced over all the goodness which the Lord had done to Israel in delivering them from the hand of the Egyptians. So Jethro said, blessed be the Lord, who delivered you from the hand of the Egyptians and from the hand of Pharaoh, and who delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all the gods. Indeed, it was proven when they dealt proudly against the people. Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for God. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat a meal with Moses' father-in-law before God. It came about the next day that Moses sat to judge the people, and the people stood about Moses from the morning until the evening. Now, when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he was doing for the people, he said, what is this thing that you're doing? Why do you alone sit as judge? And all the people stand about you from morning until evening. Moses said to his father-in-law, because the people come to me to inquire of God. When they have a dispute, it comes to me, and I judge between a man and his neighbor, and make known the statutes of God and his laws. Moses' father-in-law said to him, the thing that you're doing is not good. You will surely wear out both yourself and these people who are with you. For the task is too heavy for you. You cannot do it alone. Now listen to me. I'll give you counsel, and God be with you. You be the people's representative before God, and you bring the disputes to God. Then teach them the statutes and the laws, and make known to them the way in which they are to walk and the work they are to do. Furthermore, you shall select out of all the people able men who fear God, men of truth, those who hate dishonest gain, and you shall place these over them as leaders of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens. Let them judge the people at all times, and let it be that every major dispute they will bring to you, but every minor dispute they themselves will judge. So it will be easier for you, and they will bear the burden with you. If you do this thing, and God so commands you, then you will be able to endure, and all these people also will go to this place in peace. So Moses listened to his father-in-law and did all that he had said. Moses chose able men out of all Israel and made them heads over the people, leaders of thousands, of hundreds, of fifties, and of tens. They judged the people at all times. The difficult dispute they would bring to Moses, But every minor dispute, they themselves would judge. Then Moses bade his father-in-law farewell, and he went his way into his own land.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love this. This is basic delegation, right? Moses apparently didn't know how to do that. Well, yeah, a lot of pastors don't know. Most pastors don't know how to do that. Yeah, they estimate, something like that. And it's like, and they're all bringing their problems to Moses, which is it's like, yee. Let's look, what were Moses's wife and 2 sons doing? Why were they with Jethro? Remember, they went with Moses to Egypt, right? So we have to assume that sometime during the plagues, they said, we're out of here.
Well, some people believe we might have been a little fat because Zipporah did not want to have the baby circumcised.
So,
Then she fell under the wrath of God because he wasn't, and then Moses was the wrath of God too because he wasn't being good husband saying, get that baby circumcised.
Really?
Some people believe
There may have been probably something along those lines, but probably the plagues didn't help.
It's good we don't get this far.
No, we have a peaceful. So,
It says that he sent his wife. Apparently Moses sent Zipporah to her father with the news that the Lord had blessed his mission, and that Jethro was in the vicinity of Mount Sinai.
Yep. Yeah.
So, according to this, it's like, well, we better let Dad know how great we're doing. How God has blessed us.
Yeah, it actually says that he had sent her home. So.
I wonder if it was for safety, just reading this.
It might have been just for safety, yeah. And I mean, now that they're out of Egypt, they're.
I guess it doesn't necessarily say I was assuming this was while they were still in Egypt.
Yeah.
Whether it was for the plague, because of the plague, or
just for her.
From the Egyptians, right? He didn't want his wife and kids
Yeah, that's probably true too. Yeah, I mean, you always see to your family's safety first. Yeah. All right, yes.
I got it. His family safety first, yes, because Moses grew up in Egypt.
Yeah.
He may not want his family there.
Well, he had brought him with him.
Yeah, but
But
he
now
did not
he's.
want him to stay.
That's true.
He had to bring him with him.
Yeah.
But because he knew he needed to, but but when he saw everything going on, that was their best.
To send her home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true. And now that Israel's out, he probably sent it. They're coming to Sinai, and I'm assuming that big of a crowd of people coming across, the wilderness that Jethro will have heard about it, and he's like, okay, well, and so he brings Zipporah and his 2 sons back, which is interesting because he doesn't send Aaron or Miriam away. His brother and sister, he keeps them with him.
I think they traveled together.
Yes, they did.
I think they traveled together all the way there, and then he could send them to the family.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah.
Zipporah said, I gotta go tell Dad. Dad's never gonna believe.
That could be too. Very, very well could be. And what tells us that Jethro had become a believer in God? The sacrifices, right? And the fact that he praised God when he saw him. So he praised God, and he was offering sacrifices. And Moses had a leadership problem, right? Pastor Paul said it perfectly. Pastors have a very hard time with this, with delegation, because we want it done our way. We want it done perfectly. And we know that we can do it better. We can do it the way we want. I'm serious. It's the but letting go and allowing others to do it is, although I get irritated if it's not done just the way I want to. I don't know if that's true for you, Pastor, but if it doesn't look exactly right, especially anything in the chancel area, if it's not just right, then I get very frustrated.
Well, that's it, but you just do it yourself then.
No, I don't. But that's
Yeah.
but you have to learn how to delegate or allow other people to serve God as well. Yes, Casey.
Back in chapter 2,
Mm-hmm.
where Moses flees to Midian, it refers to Jethro's rule. Is that a conjugation of his name, or is that a different name? And it also said he was a priest, so maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, but we don't know what kind of priest he is. So apparently he was a priest. Maybe he was a priest in the order of Melchizedek, for all we know. Or we're assuming there were lots of gods at the time. And at least in Egypt, we know there were lots of gods. So
scary is delegating when you don't know how to do stuff that you're delegating. Then you have no choice but to trust.
But to trust what other people say, yeah.
Moses had no direction.
Well, Moses was.
Moses didn't have direction.
Well, he did have direction. He just didn't have.
He didn't have leadership direction.
Well, he had leadership. Yeah, he didn't have the ability to counsel or to judge. He didn't know how to let other people judge. That's what it was. And so, and Jethro was wise, right? He was saying, listen, you're going to burn yourself out. You and just your little circle of advisors, you're going to burn yourselves out. Here, make people that you trust that will not accept bribes, put them in place so that they can hear what you're doing. They can hear the small stuff and only bring the big stuff to you, which is a nice, wonderful thing. What's that? Yeah. And how do we replicate that in the church? Hopefully elders and people go and yeah. Anybody who is serving in the past in service to the church in a pastoral way. Does that make sense? I'm trying to, because technically all of the offices in the church are connected to the pastoral offices. At least that's what I learned. But for somebody who's helping people or doing the work of the pastor or assisting the pastor, that's kind of what we do in the church. It even goes to the national level. We've got our synodical president, and he has helpers, but he relies heavily on, or he has people there that work on the synodical level, and then you have the districts that work on a district level, and then it even goes to vice president regions inside the district. And then from the district, and then in that region, you have circuits. And so it's something that we can work both.
So government is good. We can't just throw it all out.
Yeah, government's not is ordained and given by God. We have organized ourselves this way. That other churches do it differently. There is the Roman Catholic Church is what we would call an Episcopal form of church government, which means that the bishops decide where the pastors serve. We're kind of a mixture, and
You make sure everybody studies about Jesus and not something else.
yes, yeah. But there's also there's also congregational, which is the congregation decides everything, right? And we're kind of in between, because the pastor puts their name on a call list, or somebody hears that they like this pastor and they want to call this pastor, and then the district presidents provide call lists to congregations that are calling. Congregations decide to call a pastor. Pastor says yes or no, and it's kind of a mixture of the two. So that's
I think a lot of the mistakes that pastors make, including myself, they don't find a niche of people. If they're going to be delegated, so they ought to be their niche. Don't pick out something that.
Yeah, they don't know how.
These people that are picked as the judges, I'm sure, loved it, and they had good rapport with the people.
Right.
And it was a good connection. I think that's something we need in the church.
Well, yeah, and the care, any type of care ministry, you're dealing with that kind of thing with judging when you're caring for God's people. It's you have to be somewhat of a people person, somewhat along those lines.
But I can be too much of a people person where, you let other people do things, like, you're trying to do everything.
That has.
No wonder you're not passing anything to anybody.
Well, that's exactly the point. So it's and that's the nice thing is that it's I don't I in the smaller congregations, pastors are heavily relied upon to do a lot, and I know Kent is of the same. My first congregation was a dual parish, and I pretty much did everything.
Does that lead to burnout? Like,
It-
Jethro hard.
There's something really, really unique and wonderful about a dual parish. That people don't that a lot of pastors will look on and they'll say, oh, what? Because if things aren't going really great at one parish, you could just escape to the other one. What's that?
Your built-in excuse.
Well, yeah. Well, and in my case, the one parish was in the town that I lived in. The other parish was about 30 miles away. And at the one parish, I would, do service on Sunday morning, a 9 o'clock service, and then have an 11 o'clock service at the other church. Well, that was up near Little Rock, and there was a golf course in that area that they let me play for free. So it was like, and I spent Monday, Wednesday at one church, and Tuesday, Thursday at the other church, and Fridays, or no, it was Tuesday, Thursday at one church, and Wednesday, Friday, because at that time I had Mondays off. So,
What a difference.
yeah, so it was pretty cool. I get to do, but but it's not just things. But there's a unique blessing where you actually get to meet and be with two different sets of people, and you get to really become part of their families, which I loved. So anyway, okie doke. Do God's leaders today face similar problems? Well, we've kind of already talked about that. Yes, absolutely. And when number 6 there, give some specific ways Jethro's advice can be put into practice in your congregation. Same thing. Committees. The cynic in me would say, if you want something done in a congregation, don't give it to a committee. Because they will debate and talk about it, and nothing will happen. But analysis paralysis, yes. But on the other hand, committees committees and boards are very good for organizing and making sure that everything is done in an orderly way. And
So it's best to know what it is you want to do before you take it to a committee.
yeah, exactly.
Or else that's not their aim.
Right. Now,
Because I don't know what you want.
I don't know what I am.
No, I wouldn't know. If you read from me, I may not know what it is that you're expecting.
True. So usually, like we have,
It's not hard to place if you know what it is. The committee wants to know what the project is.
right, like we in the church, we have a property committee, and they are in charge of the major things on the property. Yeah, we do our best. It's not always
They don't
Perfect.
take the property all day long.
No. So, all righty. Questions or comments? Ridicule? Let's close with with the Lord's Prayer, shall we? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. All right.
What was on the property committee when they designed your office?